Hey guys, time for Tech News Day.
This week we've got plenty of news about the tech world continuing to be full of sketchy scumbags who don't care about you at all. But first let's talk about the latest weird shit from Elon Musk and what he's been up to because, well, Elon Musk is absolutely no angel himself and definitely doesn't care about you. At least he's fun sometimes. Anyway, on Sunday, Elon Musk continues his tradition of making it appear that he makes all of his business decisions while browsing Twitter on the toilet after taking a huge bong rip by tweeting out some plans for an upcoming SpaceX launch.
This is gonna sound crazy, but SpaceX will try to bring rocket upper stage back from orbital velocity using a giant party balloon and then land on a bouncy house. I mean, yeah, Elon, that does sound crazy. But mostly just because of the word choice. The idea of using a balloon to safely bring down a rocket back to Earth to land on some sort of soft landing pad, it doesn't sound all that crazy, I guess. It actually makes a lot of sense. Similar things have been attempted before, like John Carmack's company Armadillo Aerospace, who used a big balloon parachute to try to bring their rocket safely back to Earth, though that attempt ended up not really working at all.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, we've got to assume that the only reason Elon's even mentioning this on Twitter is that his balloon will actually look like a party balloon.
Fun.
Maybe even a giant balloon animal. And I guess this means that his bouncy house will literally be a giant bouncy castle like you'd see at a kid's party. Cool. We expect nothing less. You sent a car into space and it was cool as hell, but now unfortunately we're gonna need a new ridiculous gimmick on a regular basis to keep paying attention to your launches. I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah, you can't just sell flamethrowers forever.
No, you gotta keep upping the ante. You really, sending the car so early, you showed all your cards there, bro.
But in other dumb Elon Musk news, the release of the new Tesla Model 3 has been a real headache for the company, who's been struggling to keep up with their original projection of building 5,000 Model 3s a week. They're instead only building around half that. This has resulted in Elon Musk choosing to pull all-nighters and sleep in his office on a couch that is apparently super uncomfortable. On a recent CBS This Morning tour of his office, Musk even said he sometimes chooses to sleep on the floor because the couch is too narrow. The man can drill a tunnel through the earth, launch things into space, but he will be damned if he sets foot in an IKEA to get a bigger couch.
Yeah. I mean, a normal human reaction to this information would be like, hey, Elon, you're worth $20 billion. Why don't you go buy a new couch or a mattress or a futon for your office if this is such a fucking problem for you, bro?
Yeah. Send an assistant to do it.
But I'm only saying that because I'm not a true Elon Musk fan. The real Musk fans, the ones with the really high IQs, they set up a GoFundMe page to buy Elon Musk a new couch.
He needs it.
The description reads, Elon Musk is transforming our world to run on sustainable energy and use sustainable forms of transportation. Lately, he's been sleeping at the Fremont factory in an effort to improve Model 3 production. This is the couch he's sleeping on. As a community, we cannot let this stand. Let's band together to buy Elon a new couch to sleep on.
Jesus Christ, people. I mean, this is just pathetic. You're begging for couch money for a billionaire on the world's most depressing website, where most of the posts are people begging for money to literally not die on the street because of ludicrous medical expenses. Surely, people will realize how stupid this looks and not donate any. Oh my God. They raised more than double their initial goal of $1,000 in just a day. Side note, do these people even realize how much a brand new comfortable couch costs?
Here's your $1,000 couch, Mr. Musk. I'll stick to the floor.
Well, anyways, once the campaign concludes, they're gonna reach out to Musk on Twitter to find out how to get the couch to him. And if he doesn't reply, they're just gonna donate the money to charity. Please don't reply. Or maybe they'll just keep it because there's literally nothing to stop them from doing that. The whole thing is very dumb.
Yeah. Crowdfunding was a mistake.
No, it is a supplement to our healthcare system, Elliot. GoFundMe was the plan all along. It's almost weird how GoFundMe is sort of socialized medicine.
Yeah.
It's weird that if everyone comes together and pays a certain amount, we could live as a healthy society because it offsets the cost of everyone else.
But then I wouldn't get the satisfaction of seeing poor people beg me for money.
That's true.
I like that.
You got a point. You do
I
have a
like
point
holding
there.
all the power in that situation where I can choose whether someone lives or dies based
I'm
on
the
whether
person,
I donate.
I choose which person lives.
Yeah.
They better have a sad story.
You take that away from me, and then everyone gets to survive.
Yeah.
Socialism, dumb. Anyway, speaking of dumb stuff though, T-Mobile, whose CEO John Legere is also a total weirdo who is amusing most of the time, they just got busted by the FCC for doing something that's been illegal for a while now, and they've got to cough up $40 million.
Yeah, like he can't afford any more of those little puppets that he makes of himself.
That's probably a good thing. He's a very strange man. So anyway, what did they do that was so bad? Fake ringtones. Now, what the hell does that mean, you ask? Well, it turns out that by law, when you call someone, you're not supposed to actually hear ringing until an actual connection has been made. T-Mobile, however, has been playing the ringtone right away, even when no actual connection has been achieved.
Uh-oh. And it's the Crazy Frog ringtone every time. Anyways, this practice has been banned by the FCC since 2014, and for pretty good reason. In the FCC's words, false ringtones cause callers to believe that the phone is ringing at the called party's premises when it's not. A caller may then hang up, thinking no one is available to receive the call. False ringtones also create a misleading impression that a caller's service provider is not responsible if the call fails. Yeah, makes sense. Anyways, as for why the hell T-Mobile still does this 4 years after the practice was banned, we don't know. But now they owe the government $40 million for something that was totally preventable, so...
Oops.
There you go.
Oops, like, yeah, you know.
Whoops, I did that?
Yeah.
I must have forgot to turn that off.
Oh, 40 million.
People actually like when the phone rings, even though it's...
It's a comforting sound.
Yeah.
But hey, that's not nearly as scummy as the tech scumbags of the year, Facebook and Cambridge Analytica. And despite it now being an entire month since that whole story first broke, new information continues to come to light, dude, and the numbers just keep getting bigger. As you're surely aware by now, the whole scandal centers around a data analytics firm using a Facebook quiz app to gain access to millions of people's private Facebook profiles and then harvesting that information to be used in political campaigns, which, while a violation of Facebook's rules, was incredibly easy for them to do.
Those millions of profiles initially were numbered at around 50 million, but that estimate has continued to rise as new information comes out. And the latest estimates, it's around 87 million profiles.
Yeah.
Yikes. If you've logged into Facebook in the past week, which I haven't.
I did, and it's right there at the top. Yeah. We're sorry.
Anyways, if you have logged into Facebook in the past week, they've told you whether your information was compromised. But turns out the number might be even higher because according to a former Cambridge Analytica employee in the UK who testified before Parliament this week, the This Is Your Digital Life quiz app was just one of multiple apps that Cambridge Analytica used to harvest Facebook data. You feeling good yet?
Oh, good. In her written evidence to the Parliament Committee, Brittany Kaiser wrote, I should emphasize that the Kogan/GSR datasets and questionnaires were not the only Facebook-connected questionnaires and datasets which Cambridge Analytica used. I am aware, in a general sense, of a wide range of surveys which were done by Cambridge Analytica or its partners, usually with a Facebook login. For example, the Sex Compass quiz.
Uh-oh.
I do not know the specifics of these surveys or how the data was acquired or processed, but I believe it is almost certain that the number of Facebook users whose data was compromised through routes similar to that used by Kogan is much greater than 87 million, and that both Cambridge Analytica and other unconnected companies and campaigns were involved in these activities. Oh, good!
She expanded on this in person at the committee hearing, saying that Cambridge Analytica's internal employees worked together to design various questionnaires to use on Facebook with the purpose of data harvesting. Sex Compass was ostensibly a discreet, private questionnaire to explore a person's sexual preferences, but of course it wasn't private at all, and the results, along with the rest of the test takers' profiles, were saved as marketing data. Another quiz that
How'd they know I like fingers in the booty?
You fingers in the booty ass bitch. Well, that's why Shibby, he came out in front of the whole thing about his ass eating.
Yeah, he was gonna get outed by Cambridge Analytica.
Now, another quiz that Kaiser claims was developed in-house was a music personality quiz.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff is very just like, oh yeah, what's the harm in this?
Well,
a lot.
It seems to be, the quizzes are, looking at it now, made exactly for marketing.
Yeah.
Well, let's find out what kind of music and TV they like.
Yeah, it's pretty blatant, really. What is sort of crazy to think about here is, so the main thing about the Alexander Kogan This Is Your Digital Life app that violated Facebook's terms of service was that the data it gathered was sold to Cambridge Analytica. But that is not the case here, since these other apps were supposedly developed in-house, meaning they might have gathered information without violating any of Facebook's rules. Anyway, following this new revelation, Facebook has said they're now investigating all the apps that had all this access to large amounts of user data before they changed their terms of service in 2014, but at this point, don't expect them to actually disclose jack shit until they get exposed in the press again, which will almost certainly happen again and again.
But they can't keep bringing Zuckerberg to Washington.
He's gonna have to move to Washington.
It's true, and rent there is very high. So. But another Facebook bullshit, they're now being sued over their fun and convenient little feature that tags your friends in your photos automatically, which isn't creepy at all. Everyone, it's not. Anyways, yes it is. Turns out what they're doing to accomplish this is, of course, using AI to scan all of Facebook's photos of your face to assemble a biometric profile of you, which is illegal in some places, like the state of Illinois. Of course, if there's no express written consent, so yeah.
Yeah, so the lawsuit isn't actually new. It was first filed in 2015 by 3 people, but a California judge ruled on Monday that the case can now proceed as a class action case, meaning that potentially millions of people could end up as plaintiffs. The suit seeks $5,000 in penalties for each time Facebook used facial recognition on a user in Illinois without their permission, so that has the possibility to add up to a ludicrous amount of money.
Of course, like most class action lawsuits, it'll probably end in some sort of settlement that gets each plaintiff about $350. But who knows? Could be more. Being mad at Facebook is very hot right now, so maybe the people of Illinois have a shot at some real money here. Facebook, for its part, insists it did nothing wrong, as it usually does. And Mark Zuckerberg even talked about facial recognition during his testimony before Congress last week, saying, "We still need to make it so that American companies can innovate in these areas, or else we're going to fall behind Chinese competitors and others around the world who have different regimes for different new features like that." China, by the way, uses facial recognition these days to basically track all of its citizens' movements in public constantly, which, Mark, probably not a great example to use here.
No.
Didn't someone recently get arrested at a concert?
Yeah, and it was like in a giant crowd. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Anyways, we do have a sponsor this week.
Woo!
So it's time for a word from this week's sponsor. It's Jamf Now. Jamf Now helps you set up, manage, and protect your Apple devices on demand. Pretty easy to keep track of your own Mac, iPad, or iPhone, but what about the other Apple devices in your organization? As a business grows, so does its collection of devices, which makes it increasingly difficult to manage everyone's iPad, iPhone, or Mac. This is especially true if employees are in different locations.
With Jamf Now, you can check real-time inventory, configure Wi-Fi and email settings, deploy applications, protect sensitive company data, and even lock or wipe a device from anywhere. Jamf Now manages and protects your devices so you can focus on your business instead. No IT experience needed. And now, you, our viewers, can start securing their business today, setting up the first 3 devices for free forever. You can also add more for just $2 a month per device. Create your free account today at Jamf, that's JAMF.com/Newsday.
All right, anyways, now it's time for even more bad, dumb, annoying tech news. This time from Phil Larigo, whose blood feud with Ajit continues.
Can't wait to see him fight it out in the ring.
The Sinclair Broadcast Group owns or operates 173 TV stations in almost 80 markets across the US, and they've come under fire recently for making all their affiliates read the same script for their news broadcasts. You might remember when John Oliver covered this story back in July, which pulled back the curtain so we all could see this creepiness going on, and one big company pushing must-read conservative scripts to all their affiliates. Timothy Burke over at Deadspin did a really great job showing how almost like brainwashing propaganda this looks like when you sync up all of Sinclair affiliates reading the script at the same time. Let's take a look at this thing and drink the Kool-Aid.
But we are concerned about the trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
They're on the same wavelength. In response to this, some senators wrote a letter to who'd they write it to? Oh, my buddy Ajit Pai over at the FCC. In the letter, they stated, multiple news outlets reporting that Sinclair has been forcing local news anchors to read Sinclair-mandated scripts, warning of the dangers of one-sided news stories plaguing our country over the protests from local news teams. And what did the FCC do? Oh yeah, they refused to punish Sinclair. Got it, okay. So the most insane detail in this whole thing is Sinclair is being accused of making these must-read scripts one-sided, politically leaning to the right, and sometimes spreading dubious information, which, today people call that fake news.
Fake news.
But the script all the newscasters read warned of fake news and proclaimed that the people reading these scripts, these must-read scripts that they didn't say, only believe in truthful, non-biased news that doesn't lean left or right. This is my favorite part of this little slow exercise. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories that just aren't true without checking facts first. It's my newscaster. So this is a perfect example of the scummy tactic of accusing others of the bad thing you're doing yourself. They're coming out going like, all these other people are doing fake news, best look out, when they're doing it themselves. But I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey Phil, what's up with these pussies? Why don't they just refuse to read the copy? And I agree, that'd be a pretty cool punk rock move. But up until recently, the reason no one was like, fuck you, Sinclair, is back in 2004, Sinclair fired an employee who criticized their decision to broadcast an anti-John Kerry documentary because this dude called it propaganda. And they were like, you don't have a job anymore. On a side note, this is what a website looked like in 2004. Isn't that crazy? Man. Anyway, if you don't fall in line at Sinclair-owned station, it used to be they would fire you. But a couple weeks ago in Oregon, 2 anchors refused to read one of the must-read scripts because they said it was fake news and that it was biased. So good on them. Hopefully this spreads across the country. But to put a nail in the coffin of this story, in case you were wondering how Trump feels about this whole thing, because I know he's just in every fucking story, I'll leave you with one of his tweets. So funny to watch fake news networks, among the most dishonest group of people I have ever dealt with, criticize Sinclair Broadcasting for being biased. Sinclair is far superior to CNN and even more fake NBC, which is a total joke. I need to brush my teeth now because reading this tweet from this man makes my mouth taste like human shit. So let's purge it. Let's end on a fun note. One of Agent Pie's appointed broadband advisors is being charged with fraud after orchestrating a $250 million fraud scheme. Woo! And this coupled with the fact that the FCC is being investigated for making changes that benefit Sinclair, you know, the people I talked about all story long, brightens my day a little bit, you know? And did you know that Ricky and Elliot are featured on the new track with the Cash Me Outside girl? That's a rap falsehood. You like the facts better? Okay.
Name's Bad Baby.
Bad Baby. Bad Bobby?
Bad Baba.
Bad Baba. Anyway, go back to your 16-year-old YouTubers. Bye, guys.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Oh, what's that, viewer? You'd like some more shitty news? Well, okay then. It's no secret that working for Amazon fucking sucks, but author James Bloodworth recently went undercover as an employee at an Amazon warehouse in the UK as research for a book he's writing on low-wage jobs in the UK. And his description really drives home how allegedly awful it is. The main detail showing up in headlines is that warehouse employees piss in bottles to avoid taking bathroom breaks, because their quotas are ridiculous and everything they do is tracked down to the second.
Yeah, the warehouses are huge and sometimes it'll take 5 minutes just to get to a bathroom. So instead of having to get yelled at for not sorting boxes for a brief moment during the day, they just piss in a jug and keep working.
Like truck drivers.
Mm-hmm. And in addition to this being degrading as hell, their unwashed piss hands are handling all your packages. So that's gross for everyone. Mm-hmm. Other troubling claims include workers being banned from wearing hoodies and sunglasses, or for even bringing their mobile phones into the warehouse. And also that a day's work involves walking 10 miles over 10 hours. Not too fun.
Yeah, I mean,
those calves, baby.
A lot of people work hard.
Piss is stored in the calves. Of course, Amazon denies all of this, as they always do. They say, quote, Amazon provides a safe and positive workplace for thousands of people across the UK with competitive pay and benefits from day one. So, who do you believe? Amazon or just this guy?
They should get bathroom breaks, but I don't really sympathize people having to walk 10 miles in a day for work or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
it could be worse.
But you can't stop. That's the thing. 10 miles is fine, but you can't ever stop.
Mm-hmm. That's why they put us all on treadmills while we write.
Yeah.
Yeah. Management here. Whack. I have just I calf.
I gotta pee.
No, you calf.
I calf. Yeah, they should calf.
Everyone should calf. It's convenient.
Don't give them that idea. If they could, Amazon would calf all their fucking workers.
Yeah. Hey, we fixed the glitch. We took your bladder out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, here's a piece of good news though. Sort of. Cyber attacks on major websites and services that lots of people use are ridiculously commonplace these days. But thankfully, this week, 34 major tech companies signed what they're calling the Cybersecurity Tech Accord, which is basically an agreement between these companies to share more information between each other about cyber attacks. At this point, how the partnership is actually going to work is super vague, and while it includes big companies like Facebook, HP, Microsoft, and Dell, it does not include Twitter, Amazon, Apple, or Google. But hopefully, allowing greater communication between companies to defeat a common enemy will result in fewer of the big hacks that we've been hearing about constantly.
Yeah, it's a big problem because they don't really disclose. Yeah, they don't. Yeah. They'll get hacked and it's embarrassing and they.
Well, how'd you get hacked? Well, give us a full breakdown. No.
Nah. Trade secret, bro. Here's some news that's pretty cool, but also has unsettling implications. Researchers at Google have managed to create an AI system that can isolate individual voices in noisy environments, even when multiple voices are talking over each other. And the results are pretty insane. In one example, 2 stand-up comics are talking over each other as part of their act. In another example, 2 sports pundits are arguing with each other about basketball. In both cases, the AI can isolate one speaker or the other without even losing a whole lot of audio quality.
Yeah, and the major key to this technology is that it uses video as well as audio, tracking the mouth movements of each speaker to know who's talking at any given time. But how it manages to isolate the voices so well is beyond our humble comprehension. Anyway, one cool application of this tech is the ability to record someone speaking in a noisy room and remove all the background noise. which seems like it'd be a good fit for Google Hangouts or for this show. It's a small room. It could probably also improve automated closed captions on YouTube videos, which would be cool.
Yeah. On the creepy side, though, there's vocal synthesis, where you take samples of someone's voice and make that voice say whatever you want it to say. That kind of thing would benefit from this sort of thing quite a bit. And that's terrifying. There's also the surveillance aspect. Like we said before, China already tracks people pretty much everywhere in public. So adding microphones into that sort of surveillance system and being able to eavesdrop on specific conversations in a crowded area, a very unsettling thought that is.
Yes. It's almost enough to make you never want to leave the house again, which I continue to do more of as I age.
Yeah.
But Google's got you covered there too, everyone. The Google Arts and Culture app recently added detailed 3D models of 25 historic monuments from around the world, which were captured using laser scanning by a nonprofit called SciArc, who has been capturing these locations over the last few years. The scans are pretty incredible and include places like Chichen Itza in Mexico, Berlin's Brandenburg Gate, Pompeii in Italy, the Lincoln Memorial, and various ancient sites in Asia and South and Central America. If you're interested in history and have some time to kill, it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. They got like cave paintings in it. They got old
Did they scan the gold in Lincoln's brain in that memorial?
No, it's popcorn.
Oh! You could easily mix those two up.
Yeah. Anyway, that's our show. Again, thank you to Jamf Now for sponsoring this episode. Jamf Now helps you set up, manage, and protect your Apple devices on demand. It's pretty easy to keep track of your own Mac, iPad, or iPhone, but what about all the other Apple devices in your organization? Well, Jamf Now manages and protects your devices so you can focus on your business instead. No IT experience needed. Now our viewers can start securing their business today, setting up the first 3 devices for free forever. You can add more for just $2 a month per device. Create your free account today at Jamf. That's jamf.com/newsday.
Support them, support us, support them for supporting us. And thank you for watching. Check out 2 new episodes over here. We got a brand new episode of Tugs, where we go in on the bully hunters again. And then if you need a very cursory glance at what the hell went on, there's news dump for that too. We'll see you guys next time.
See you out there, hunters.